Welcome, welcome. I think this is working good. Let's see here. I think everything's set up. It's been a little while since I streamed, but I wanted to do this will be a working session. I wanted to do a stream on setting up Copilot agents. Whoa. Setting up Copilot agents for working in Java development, like as a web developer in Java and maybe some kind of front end. Um, and also set up agents for game development, specifically with Godot. This is going to cover the workflows I use with Copilot and for Java development, but we're going to have to create one for game development because I haven't done this yet before. So it'll be a bit of a working session, but I think it'll be good. So let's go ahead and get started. Here, 1 second. Everything's good. Okay. Let me just share my screen here. Okay, so I've just got Windows PowerShell up here. And additionally, I will quick show you where the download is for that. I've already got it installed. Copilot CLI, that is. That's what we're going to be using to run our agents and stuff. And you can install it a bunch of different ways. This way is showing you with a WinGit, which is just like Windows installer, command line installer, and there are different ways. I think you can download it somewhere here. But regardless, it's pretty easy to get, so I'm not really going to cover that step. But once you have it installed, you can type in the word Copilot into PowerShell here, and it'll pop up Copilot eventually. Usually it doesn't take this long. Okay, that's me. Sure, I trust that folder. All right, so we'll just so you can see here it's running on GPT 5.4 right now. I've heard that's a good model, but honestly, I've always had better luck with the Claude models. So I'm going to switch it to Claude Sonnet. And you might have just noticed that I typed /model there, and then it gave me a model bracket. So it's going to ask me, and I hit enter, and it's going to ask me what model I want to use. And I'm going to use Sonnet 4.6 here. You can see the different multipliers on it. They recently got rid of Opus 4.6 access, which was a big bummer. They're kind of raising the prices on things. I think that's happening with all AI right now because of the, cost of it. So I've got I've got different options here. I'm using Claude Sonnet, but I can go for like a high performance version, which might take a little longer, but it's going to be more accurate potentially, or a medium or a low. I'm actually going to use high right now. I have plenty of access or capability left this month, and it's the 30th of April, so it's about to reset anyway. Plus the stuff I'm doing, I kind of want it to think a little bit more. Okay, so just like this alone, this is a Claude agent, or sorry, a Copilot agent using the Claude model. And from here, I can do different things like have it compare different repositories, or sorry about that. Not sure if that goes through or not. Do I have audio? Yeah, it might have gone through a little bit. I have the audio on the desktop turned on, but I'll just turn it off now so it doesn't happen again. Anyway, so just like this, you can do lots of things. You can have it code for you. You can have it perform command lines for you. Do an echo command with the name of this PC, maybe like something like that. And we can just wait for it to get back, and it's thinking about it. It's gonna grab the environment variable, and it's like telling me the PC name. Cool. So you have access to command line on here. Um, and with that, um, you can do a lot of cool things. You can use GitHub. You can set up MCP servers. They're called MCP servers. It's basically a protocol that Anthropic has standardized that allows you to like communicate with different like services and things. So like you might hear about if you're an engineer, you might use a like Atlant Atlassian products. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you know who I'm talking about. The Jira, the Confluence guys. You might be using their software, and so they have various MCP servers you can hook up to like read your Jira stories or write pages to Confluence or stuff like that. Well, don't quote me on that Confluence one because I'm pretty sure that's true. I'm 99% that sure true. If it's not true right now, it will be soon, but I'm not 100% sure if that's like fully released yet or not. But the Jira one is definitely because I use that every day. So like I have an MCP server for Jira, GitHub. You could have one for Postgres. I've just given like if you're using some kind of database, I use Postgres a lot. So in my case, it would be Postgres. But you could give it access to some kind of database. In my case, it has access to the AWS CLI as well, so it can help me run AWS commands and things like that as well, which is pretty cool. So the really cool thing at the end of this, you can do something like so. If you're an engineer, this will make sense. And I'll just say that we're going to end up working with a pet veterinary Spring Boot project I found. So we're going to kind of set up our developer, our professional software engineer as as working at this pet veterinary back end software. I don't know what to call it exactly. It's like software that runs your veterinary service, I think is what it is. But it's just mock, so like who really cares, right? But I could say, knowing that profile, I could say something like, "Hey, add a feature where we can accept credit card." Did I spell that right? Oh yeah, the mouse was credit cards using PayPal APIs on our shopping cart page. That makes no sense for for a veterinary. Well, maybe it does. I don't know, but you get the idea. And so then it would go and generate all this. And like out of the box, a lot of people are skeptical of like letting it loose on that, and you should be skeptical because if you think about like a typical software engineer setup, you've got like 10, 15 years of legacy code. And you've got like 10 different projects and stuff. And you've got to change one project here and one project there for this one feature and things like that. And so out of the box, this is going to like not work for that, right? Like if I had to do that, like you can imagine that there would be some service backend for that order API, and then there would be a UI side to it. And maybe they would have to go through some kind of queue because you'd want to store those messages, all that kind of stuff. I guess not for PayPal APIs, but if you were processing other credit cards, other kind of ways. So all that stuff is going to kind of not be great. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask this agent to set up agents, and we'll add skills to them and stuff. It'll be cool. So I'm going to tell this agent, we'll say, so can you create me a software developer agent which specializes in Spring Boot Java code for a I can't spell veterinarian, I don't know, service or veterinarian, I guess I'll call it a clinic. And we'll say they use a lot of Spring Boot apps with Postgres backends and I won't say maybe, I'll say React front ends. Okay. Um, and we'll just go ahead and set this thing, and we'll just let it do its thing, and we'll talk about what it does. So it's like, oh, I should create this agent. It needs to know all this stuff. So it's building a skill. It's called a custom cloud agent. I don't know where it got cloud from, but let's just see what it does. Do you have an existing? So it's asking me if there's an existing GitHub repo, and I'm going to tell it. Uh, you can clone. I already have Git set up on this computer, I should say. So you can clone this repo, and this. If I paste it here, I'll show you this in a minute. But it's a Spring Veterinary Clinic. It's what the company, the vet company, uses for their software. Sure. And so it's going to now probably clone that and read through it. It's and so now and as it read through it, it realized, hey, what version of Java? We'll just go with 17 as recommended, and like this is just going to be end up trash anyway, right? This is purely for example. And now it's asking me to clone it, but it wants to clone it. I'm going to tell it clone it to the Git directory instead. So I have a Git directory in my home directory, so I wanted to clone it there. It was trying to clone it somewhere else. What path? Okay, I thought it would be smart enough. In the home directory, there is a Git directory. Use it. I'll put exclamation points just so it knows I'm mad at it for asking, because it should have known. Okay, so now it's trying to clone this, and it's going to the right directory. Yay! Okay, so it's going to clone it and put it in the right directory. And that is like a lot of steps, I understand, but like when you set up your agent, it like you can set it up to know where to always put the Git repos when you ask it to clone something, right? So now it's figuring all this out, and it'll build us an agent. And I'm going to go ahead and show you this here website real quick, where I got this repo from. I think it's actually like a official Spring project. I think it's like a sample project of theirs, but it's a Spring Vet Clinic, and you can see that it's just like a regular Java type project with Gradle. I don't know if any of this means anything to y'all, but Gradle is the build tool slash dependency gathering tool that is used for Java frequently, and there's also a Maven, which is another tool. Does it have a Palm? Yeah, so you can build it with Maven or Gradle. They keep both. And then it kind of shows you how to run it, like the clone and how to run it with with Maven or Gradle, and some other things. You can see here, if we look, you can see that it's actually has a in-memory H2 database, but we might want to replace that with like a Spring database, a Postgres database. You can see it already has options for this. I'm not sure if they're embedded or not. I guess they're with this. But we can get the AI to do all this work for us instead of doing it ourselves. So going back to this, it finished what it was doing, and it created a Copilot instruction set. And we talked about this last time I streamed, when I sort of crashed out, and about how you can generate Copilot instructions, which isn't exactly what I wanted it to do, but it is necessary. So maybe it just took that as a subtask. So we'll go ahead and approve that. We'll see what else it's doing here. Okay, Copilot setup instructions. All right, so this is just steps on how to build the project, and it wants to put that in there too. So I was happy about that. But it didn't actually build the agent as far as I can tell, which is sort of annoying. So I may have to ask it again. Oh, you dumb SOB. I asked you to make me an agent. Where is my vet developer agent? Make it. And we'll put exclamation points. I think it'll probably get the picture. Users, Resident Evil, actual Copilot agent. Yes. See, I want a Copilot agent. And not just setup files. You freaking moron. God, these models sometimes, I swear to God. All right. So we'll let it do that. And I think while it's doing that, we'll just pop open it. A Copilot extension. What? Why isn't it just? Can't you just create an agent? I've done this like a billion times. I don't know why. Agent I can use in the Copilot CLI instead of the default one. I want a flipping developer agent. Oh my gosh. Yeah, peak. I wonder if this. Okay, we'll see what it does. Maybe it's like a feature. See, so what you do is like here under agent. No, I don't want to click it right now. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna open another Copilot or another Windows PowerShell. Can I just click one? Yes. So I can have another instance of Copilot up. And then I'm going to go to agent here. Okay, I guess I can do it this way. See, when I was doing this at work, it was smart enough to know that I wanted it to create an agent. But if it's not going to do it that way, I'll just do it this way, create a new agent. Yes, user level agents. All right, let's just kill this one. Goodbye. Create with Copilot. Yes, this was what I was trying to do. So we'll try again. Create, and we just went to the menu and went to agents, like slash agents, and then create a Spring Boot Java or Java developer agent that works on a works on veterinary software. It's probably spelled wrong. That can be found in. Give it the thing or give it the location here. Can be found in here. Why isn't this pasting? All right, fine. I'll type it out. C/. user slash class slash git slash spring pet clinic. Okay, cool. So it'll find that, and we'll just let it do a thing. Hopefully, adding to the agent will work, because usually I just add. I mean, I was even using Claude. I usually just add all the details I want to, like skills and the agent stuff. I'm not sure if it's like a difference between like the enterprise version they have us using at work, or like and the personal version I have here, but we'll see. Yeah, sure, that's fine. All tools. Yeah. So it's just whether or not it has access to command line and different things. You can see I loaded one MCP server. I wonder what that was for. We'll have to check it out. But okay. So the reason why I wanted to do that way is because I wanted to show you what it actually does. So in my user directory here, you can see user class .copilot. I've got this agent here, and it's an MD file, and if I open it up, the oops, I'm sliding around the desktop. It probably won't be that great at instructions because I didn't give it a very good prompt, but it kind of tells it what it does and stuff, and like that you need to know Spring, and so now this context is going to be loaded every time you know your app you load the agent, which I'll show you right now. So if I go to agent now, if I hit agent, you can see there's two here. There's this pet clinic agent, and now this context is loaded in for this, and I think those were yeah, anyway, so from here you can for my Polygon prompts, but from here you can build out a better version. Like say you're a professional developer, okay? You've got your software has a lot of quirks. It has, you've got several repos or whatever. You can tell it what repos. You can put all your repos in here, and you can do that via prompts. Add the location of the pet clinic software to the to this agent, and that'll do that. Okay. Now, in addition to having different agents that have their own context and things, you can also add skills. So, so if I look up like Spring Framework documentation, I'll get to this page here, and this has all the documentation how Spring works. Spring is a Java framework we use a lot for setting up web servers and stuff, for making APIs and things. And so I could go into here, and you can see now it's adding this, and it's asking me if I want to do that. Yes. Jumping all over the place here, but essentially it's adding to this file here, and you can see it's changed it. So somewhere in here now there's going to be like the location. There it is at the top. And so you could imagine I could have 6 projects here, and it could describe how each of them work. And if you've got a project that work, like at my work, we've got a project that's got like 3 different front ends. One of them for the admin section, one of them for the client section. And so you can describe that in detail to your Copilot agent. And then when it goes to pick up, issues and things from Jira or some kind of or maybe even from like GitHub, issues with your software, you can grab that stuff and it'll have all that context from the different projects and things. And maybe you even have your like database schema laid out, and so it can grab that too. So we can actually set this thing to work now. But first, I want to add some skills. So I will say, please review. Hopefully, it can. We'll see if it gets blocked or not. This Spring documentation and build a skill based on Spring. And so it'll go to work on that. And while that's going on, let's get started on the game making stuff, because that'll be fun. Do you want this? Yes. I'm going to have to answer a couple more questions here, I think. Oops. I'll just accept them all. So now it's going to read all those and try to like get all the high level Copilot stuff. And I'm sure these AIs were trained on this already, some of it, but this is going to emphasize it more in its thinking process, right? And save you like tokens and when it's trying to think, because it'll have this understanding and this direct access to all this information and stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and set up another one here. And if you're more of like into my game development stuff, you guys might find this more interesting. We're gonna set up a Copilot agent for Godot game development, but we're also gonna make it an expert on sonic physics. So that's cool, sort of. Anyway, why isn't this going? Is it not like having two versions open at work? It doesn't mind, but this is like. At work, I guess I'm using Windows 11. And here I'm still on Windows 10. Okay, I understand, blah, 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 blah. Everything I need. What are you doing there? Man, I should have like upgraded the terminal or something, because I kind of miss my better terminal at work. Are you done? Okay, I don't. All right, so I guess it was still reading. And what's this? Still thinking. And so now it's building the skill for Spring Framework. And you can see it's learning about all these annotations. These annotations, like, you probably don't know what they are unless you're a Java developer, but like these are actually annotations for setting up web endpoints. So for like setting up websites or API calls like that you might make, like if your game has a high score table, like you might set up a web API endpoint that for like retrieving the high score table or something like that. So like that's the kind of stuff that this does. And it's got all this detail. And it's like, do you want to keep this file, or is this good? And I said yes. So I'll say add it to the pet clinic Java developer agent. And if I go in here, we should find skills. And you can see in here there's a Spring Framework skill. And so now it's trying to do what I asked it to do, which was edit this. So this will get edited to have this skill all the time. Yes. So if I look in here, it should reference that skill somewhere. See, right here. So now, in addition to having this agent, which knows it's a Spring Boot, it's got some extra Spring Boot knowledge. Now, you want to be careful with this stuff because you only have so many tokens, but like this is worthwhile token usage, at least for a demo. And like this is how I have it set up at work. I have a Spring Boot skill. I have a Jira skill. I have a GitHub skill, so that I can like make it build its own PRs and stuff. Like sometimes at work, like I don't even like bring the code. Like I just like, hey, here's the feature I had. This is what I did today, actually. I had to add a new feature, a new screen to our front end application, and I add a new whole database record for it, and all that kind of stuff. And I just typed in, here's the feature, here's the Jira ticket, go on and do it and make the PRs. And then like it took maybe a couple hours, and then like afterwards it didn't work, and so I had to like prompt it like 3 times with like different errors it found, and then it was like done and it was all working. Um, but yeah, so that's the kind of stuff. But and we're gonna show some of that a little bit, I think, depending on how long this takes. But we've got a Spring Framework skill here, and we've got our veterinary software set up. So I'm gonna ask it for another skill. Go ahead and make yourself a Postgres SQL expert to make a skill for it if okay, it knows. I wasn't sure if it would it was gonna know that I was asking for a skill. Okay, so this is weird though. It's not letting me do 2 instances of Copilot, which is really annoying. Um, in which case, well, I have this is x86. Will it let me if I am it? They're 2 different applications, right? Okay. It's going to let me in the x86 version of Shell, so I'll do that for now. All right. So I'm going to find the Godot 4.5 documentation. And you can see here it's making itself that Postgres skill, so we'll just let it do that. And we'll go back into agent again. And we'll create a new agent. And we want it at, so you can put them at the GitHub level or the Copilot level, I guess. I've never done it at the GitHub level. Create with Git. Okay. Create an agent for making games with Godot 4.5. Here is the documentation. I'll paste that in here. Sometimes you got to download these documentations too because they don't want they don't like bots on their websites or whatever, which I understand to an extent, but it's like, it's either the people reading them or the bots, which like, and 4.5, I think that's right. I don't know why it won't let me paste in here. I'm gonna have to get a different terminal or something. So it's going to go ahead and start that agent, and it went ahead and decided it should probably add the Postgres skill to this agent as well. So it's asking for my permission to do that, and I'll say yes. Okay. So now, if you recall back in this project, which was the pet clinic project, it said something about using Postgres, and right now it's using an H2 in memory database, which is like not a it's like for demo purposes only because it's only kept in memory, so it dies every time you restart the application. It's not something you could use in prod. But you can go ahead and switch to MySQL or Postgres. So I'm just going to ask it to go ahead and do that and then run the application. Please reconfigure the app to run with Postgres. You might need to install it, then run the application. So now it's going to do what it needs to do. Hopefully. It should. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But this kind of stuff saves me a lot of time because I'm in a lot of meetings, and stuff, and then I'm expected to like write code too. And so like, you can be in a meeting and do a couple things and just like let it roll, and then you can get it some other, participate in meetings. Okay. This may take a few minutes. All right, it's gonna let me know when it's done, and I can always like if it takes too long, I can always be like, hey, what are you doing there, pal? Okay. So it looks like it's looking. Yeah, I guess I'll. Yeah. What is this? All right. Yeah. Look for Postgres. I don't think it's on the machine. It was at one point, but I don't know that it still is. No Copilot instructions found. Okay, so this one looks like it looks like we have an agent now, more or less. There's that paste that finally worked. So back out of this. Do I have Postgres in the top? Oh, we'll find out. It's going to find out for me. Okay, so back with this. Let's go ahead and start the Godot agent here, and I'm just going to tell it. So some of you might be familiar with this guide. The Sonic Physics Guide. Now, I can't access this with Copilot because they're pretty anti-AI here, or some of them are at least, maybe not all. But I have. It's not that many pages, so I just downloaded them all, saved them all to my desktop, and put them in a folder. And now we can ask Copilot to create a skill for that. I want you to make me a skill for creating Sonic style 360 platform movement from scratch, meaning you don't use the internal. Maybe I should leave that for another. Let's just leave that like that. We'll those other instructions might be better for the agent rather than the skill, so that's why I backed out of that. And I have a folder under Git, under home/Git, that has Sonic physics guide documentation. Look for it and do the needed. It's pretty vague, but I'm just trying to show you, you know. Okay, so we'll just kind of watch what it does for a second. Skill not found. What? Okay, so it's looking for the file right now. Let's see if it can find it. Will you find the file? All right. Well, that's going on. We'll go back to this thing. Yeah, usually I have like 5 of these going at work, so I'll be like doing a pull. I'll be like, "Hey, Copilot, do a code review on my boss's code, and then tell me what's there." And okay, write a comment on GitHub for issue 1, 2, and 3. Skip 4 because that's stupid, and stuff like that. Like you can do, and then like if somebody like somebody from support's like, hey, how does this work? It's not in the guide, and it should work this way, but I don't think it's working this way. Is it or not? And you can like type, ask Copilot to like look at the code and stuff. And so usually I have like 4 or 5 of these going at a time. All right. So it looks like it didn't find Postgres, and now it's decided it's going to try to install it. So I was right. Postgres wasn't on this machine. I think it was finding like fragments of it though, because it used to be. Go ahead and install it. The output is too large. Blah blah blah. What are you doing here? So okay, it's still looking. Maybe I should. Let me look at the folder name. I'll give it a hint. Give it a hint. It is called Sonic Physics. Try looking for Sonic Physics. Surprised it didn't find that, but whatever. Come on, hurry up with the install. Okay. So it's handed this off to a sub agent, so that's good. And oh yeah. Why is it checking all Windows services? I guess it's probably checking to see if the Postgres service is there now because it tried to install it. I think it's still trying to check the service, that maybe it wasn't successful or something like that. All right, so what's this one trying to do? Allow access. Do you want to allow access? This action may read. Oh, okay. That's just in the physics guide. Okay, sure. Do that. Yes, you can access all that. All right. And now it's gonna do some more Postgresy things. So it found all the physics guide now, and it's just reading through it, trying to create the skill. It has to keep asking me for things because it's trying to open these files and stuff. Now I have a good understanding of the sonic physics guide. So it's just talking about them, and it's figuring out sizes and stuff. So it's all really good stuff. So now it's going to check and see if Postgres is there. Two things at once. Slash program, that must be in Postgres. Check for Swiss logs. Well, there aren't going to be any logs probably, but you can try. I guess there's a log. Should be up and running. Maybe that's what it's checking for. I hope I don't need to restart the computer to do post or to get Postgres installed. I mean, it should be able to just start the service, right? So you can see what it's done here. It's interesting. Found if Postgres was installed, created a pet clinic database and user, or at least this was all the stuff it's trying to do. It's still working on the Postgres thing. Okay, I guess I thought it. Okay, maybe it didn't wasn't successful with that other command because I can't actually install with that. But winget should be able to install Postgres, so that'll be good. Uh, yeah, just checking on things outside of this. So we'll just wait and see where it is. And this one's still creating Sonic Physics Guide. These things, like most of these models I found, were already trained on Sonic Physics as well, but you have to like tell it, hey, classic Sonic Physics, and it actually has most of the values and stuff. But this is going to ensure that it's like front of mind for the agents and stuff. So this was good. I was kind of afraid of it might just be a lot of sitting and waiting. Um, but I'll go ahead and ask this for a status. So it's still setting up Postgres for, but it's not asking us for any permissions or anything anymore. So it seems like it probably set it up. And okay. What is Choco? I don't even know what that is. Or whatever. I'll just let it do it. Might be part of this. I'll check it out. What is that? What is Choco? Oh my gosh, it's trying to do another install, bro. Why can't you fucking? Excuse me. Why can't you install this? Maybe I should have just installed it manually. So one problem with like Windows is like the install process. I thought I had WinGit on here though. I thought that would have worked, but I don't really care how it does it as long as it installs Postgres. Yeah, Choco's just like another package manager, I guess. So fun. And it's still figuring out the skill set too. How many flipping times are you going to try to install Postgres? Choco and Git, like, bro, like, come on. Maybe that was too much to ask of it. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. It just I don't know if you saw that, but like it popped up with the yeah. Okay, so now this is Postgres installing. This is kind of silly because I don't even need Postgres on this machine, but I wanted to show the example. But we'll see how long it takes because it could take it a while to actually do all these steps. Okay. Did you set up the skill? It's trying to write sonic physics. I thought I told it to set up the skill. I didn't ask you to make an engine yet. So we'll let it do that. And we can check in here and see if those skills are showing up. So we got our Postgres skill and our. Let's take a look at this Postgres skill. So we've got our Postgres skill and kind of data types. Yeah, you could give it like so. Like if you have data type specifications you use at your job, like that are common, you can always give it that kind of directive in here. So like when it's reading your JIRAs, it's like okay, this one's probably this data type or whatever. A reusable Godot plugin for sonic physics. That'd be neat. A skiller guide I can find. A Copilot skill is what I want. I was just curious what all the answers were there. So we'll tell it to make a Copilot skill out of that again, but it should be pretty quick because it already had. Yeah, it's just looking for the skills. And let's check on this one. I guess I know what it's doing. It's doing this. Okay. Yep. So it's gonna create the 360 Sonic skill And can we go look at it? It's empty. I guess it only made the directory so far. Gotta wait and wait and wait, which is pretty typical, which is why I end up getting like 5 of these things going. While that's going on though, I did have this new piece of software. So, you can imagine that managing all these terminals is kind of annoying, especially like if you accidentally kill one and you don't know what your session was or whatever. Um, and they've released a new piece of software, Visual Studio, Microsoft has, that is supposed to set up. It's like running these agents, but in here instead of like in these separate instances. Um, but I've never used it before, so let's just look at it. Um, do you have a Godot skills set or a Godot developer agent? Oh, let's just see what it does here while we're waiting. What happened? Like I didn't take any feedback. Maybe I have to select folders. Yeah, I've never used this software before, so like I said, this is working session. So when I asked it that, it brought this up, which was interesting. But I don't quite get this piece of software yet. So like this is the terminal over here. Okay. Yeah, that's or no, why did it bring that up? I don't understand. I asked it about the Godot skills. Okay, so it's an agent and I would take it in Sonnet Medium model and say, hey, do you know about the Godot agents? Okay, this looks more like what I was looking for. I don't know why that other one showed up like that. Okay, so this is the Sonic skill set. It's got like a guide for how to implement it, the physics values, all that kind of stuff. And this would be a pretty standard Sonic engine. I'm actually going to do something pretty cool with my buddy Devin, who has made an even a better way to do Sonic physics, and we're going to do a stream on that. So that'll probably be more in line with what like everybody here likes, or everybody who usually watches my streams, is what I mean to say. This one's an unusual one for me. Yep. So it's just got all the details about that. Um, and then if I wanted, I could send it away to like create a Sonic physics guide or something, or not a guide. I mean, like a Sonic physics engine. So now I'm going to tell it about my project. So I have this project called No um Dot or No More Robots. It's my game and it has Sonic like movement. The can you create okay, so this already has Copilot instructions. Please analyze its Copilot instruction set and add it to the agent as one of the repos frequently referenced. As this agent is the No More Robots um, developer agent. And so it's going to scan my project. It's going to read the instructions, which I can show you. Let me get there. First, let's look at the skills a little bit more. So yeah, this is the skill guide it came up with. You can see it's got all the constants there for like the different, different states, movement constants for different states, frames per second, just a bunch of ground modes, air modes, roll mode, all these different pseudocode for doing this kind of stuff. And different things like, yeah. So, but what I wanted to show you was the no more robots skill, or not skill, but Copilot instruction set. Okay, so here you can see this instruction set. It warns that I don't use a lot of the built-in Godot. Like I don't use the built-in Godot states machine or the character physics. I wrote my own physics. And it doesn't use the animator. I wrote my own animator, and it doesn't use the input directly. I wrote my own input. So there's that. Those are things that are at the top because, like, if I didn't have this here, then it would constantly be trying to use these things, and I don't want them to because I have my own. I put this here because it kept trying to write ternary operations, and GD script does not have ternary operations, so I had to put this here to make it write correctly. And then there's just like different classes and things. These are all the actions you can take in game and stuff, and like these are all like different ways things are declared in the player init. This is how state transitions work in plain English. Here's how inputs are captured and mapped in things. So just all this stuff that helps it like make good decisions. Yeah, there's quite a lot here. Yeah. And you can see this is so weird. I haven't quite figured this thing out yet. Huh. So like when it makes changes, it pops them up here. I'm gonna install this at work, and yeah, it like pops them up here, and then it's like, do you want this change or not? I don't know. That this is a whole new thing for me, so we'll come back to that. It's again checking for the Postgres service because I finally finished installing it. See, this thing, it looks like it matches what it was doing there. Are these things in sync somehow? Huh. I don't know. It's interesting. Yes. Create a database. Go ahead. Okay, so now it's going to create the database and stuff. That's good. So now it's going ahead. Yeah, I mean, like this is what we want. We wanted to create a database for our new veterinary clinic. You can imagine like once you get this stuff set up, you can just like ask it for like APIs and stuff. Hey, make me an API that gets all the customers with an outstanding, bill or whatever. Something like that. And it'll be very good at that kind of stuff. Yes, you can trust. But this stream is getting kind of long, so I might have to end it at some point. I was hoping that I would get further. I think I got my point across, but like, it's unfortunate that I don't have more time to sit here. So what's going on now? Oh, we'll ask it what it's doing. Try to connect. Okay. Try to run Postgres. You do that. So Postgres is installed, and now it's trying to run some command to create databases and such on Postgres. Why didn't that work before? I don't know, but sometimes it takes it a little while. Now the thing is, this is taking a while, but what I can do is, when it finally figures it out, I can say something like, make sure to go back and add either a command line skill or um, add instructions directly to the active agent so that they better understand how to run these Postgres commands without error. And thinking of these kind of prompts is what they call like prompt engineering, where like you can get pretty creative with what you have AI do for you, and anymore it's pretty accurate. And so like these kind of um, things are helpful. I'm not going to do that right now though, because I don't want to get it distracted. So like I'll tell you one thing that happened to me at work. I didn't work in this one repo for a while, and it was like our main repo because I was off kind of in my own world, working on DICOM servers, and like so I get a feature for the main application again, and I haven't worked on this thing in months, so my database is like super out of date, but it wasn't like totally out of date, and we don't have any like sort of syncing software, and so I was like, and so I'm like forced to go through like I don't know like 30 database change scripts and run them all. Um, and when I started, I thought it was only one or two, so it was not a big deal. I started running these scripts, and I'm like, okay, and then I started running another one. I'm like, okay, and then I realized I'm like, oh man, I'm really in over my head here. I've got all these scripts. I need to get this feature done. So I pop open Copilot, right, and I'm like, hey, look at GitHub because all our databases are um, saved to GitHub. Look at GitHub, look at the recent changes, fix my freaking database. And so in about 20 minutes, it had my database fixed. And of course, I was doing other stuff like attending meetings while this is going on. And it fixed my database. And then I had it write my feature. And, by the end of the day, I fixed my database. I've written a new feature in addition to everything else going on. So it's pretty cool. And once you get these tweaked and set up exactly the way you want them, see 25 minutes in. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, it's not, these aren't like wonder machines. You still have to know what you're doing, but they are super helpful if you think about them in the right way. Um, well, the database is, all right, checking the Java version. Well, the database is set up. Is it? Yeah. Is it configured? When are you going do some Java? You going to run the flipping app? Now I'm just giving it a bunch of shit. We'll see what it does with it. Okay, what? Run it with Gradle, not Maven, dumbass. Put a note in the developer agent to always use Gradle when available. So now I don't have to worry about it using Maven anymore because I like Gradle. All right, now it's trying to update the agent to do that Gradle note, and now it's going to run the app with Spring Boot. I don't know if it ever finished with Postgres, but we'll find out shortly. Because see, if I have a Postgres error, then I can just give it the log, or I can ask it to go look for the logs. Actually, the build failed. Requires Java 17 or later. Do I not have Java 17 on this computer? Are you dead ass serious? Are we serious people here? Java 8. Really? I guess I haven't done Java development on this machine in a while. Huh. Screw it. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop here. Well, no, let's just have it go. Let's just have it go because it looks like did it find Java? I'm not sure. I would think I'd have Java 17 on this computer. Yes, 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 yes. We'll find out. Yeah, I have it. Okay. All right. False alarm. It's just that Java 8 must have been set up as my main Java. Well, it was set up. There's no. I looked at it. It said Java 8. So now it's setting up Java 17 and it's going to try to run again with Java 17, hopefully, and we'll see what it does. Did it work? And we can look back at here. Okay. So I actually want to set this agent up to do something here, and I'm going to give it a repo. What I'm going to do is I have this old. So I used to. Well, I still do, I guess. I sometimes work with other developers and have them develop code for me. Especially if it's code I don't want to mess with. um, and so I have all this code, but it's all in Unity. Please review the enemies, features, and things in this Unity project. I'm thinking about porting them to Godot, No More Robots, and I want you to review them and come up with a plan for that. So this will get it to review all these features. And then once it does that, we can look at what it spits out, as far as like the available features for us to port to Godot, because I used to use Unity, but I switched to open source because it's less risky to develop with open source. You're not dependent on a single entity. Like, what if Unity tomorrow like shut down, or what if tomorrow Unreal Engine went bankrupt, Unreal went bankrupt? What would happen to all those games on those engines? It's Hopefully they would open source it so everybody could but they might not even be allowed to do that in their bankruptcy, right? Because that would be an IP or their property. And so hopefully they'd figure it out and some other company would take over the support, but it would still be a flipping nightmare. So the great thing about open source is you have access to the source code, and you don't have that risk of dependencies on companies that go out of business quite frequently. I'm not saying specifically those companies, but what's the average lifespan of a company? Like 10, 20 years? Like, it ain't great. So here it's telling me all these features. It contains an enemy health bar. Okay, I already have that ported. It contains a player health bar. I have that ported. It contains a waterfall. I have that ported. Thought I had other stuff too. Maybe that was in a different project. We'll see. We'll let it keep thinking, and we'll see what's going on here. It seems the output is not updating. So this one I'm looking at now, it's like I was trying to run it with Gradle and Java 17. Did it work? Probably failed. What was the out? No More Robot Support is not a Unity project. It's Or it is a Unity project. Oh, I think it was trying to rationalize that Godot was not a Unity project, and it what was. So okay, they're all like internal thoughts of the AIs. All right, let's stop this thing. Come on. Let's get a status. Okay, so this one has a question. Just everything in that project might need to be ported. Did you not see any NPCs or enemies or anything else? Did you look at the scripts? Might have less in here than I thought. What of shaders? Shaders. Are there any cool shaders? Just kind of trying to give it like. So this is going to go ahead and try to run again with Gradle and Java 17. And we'll see what happens. Nope, not in this one. Just look at the project, not Git. Yeah, I think it's a little confused because it thinks there should be more here. Maybe that's an old version. But maybe that's it. It found another, or it's describing the waterfall shader. Yeah, I was thinking there was more in here, but maybe there's not. So there's not much in there. Let's list everything. And whether or not this is running, I don't know. What do the four scenes contain? Of course, I could just go in there and look, but the thing is about getting it to understand what's in there, then I can get it to port it. Yeah, I guess that's all that's in there. Okay. Well, I guess there's nothing I need to port then. I thought there was more. But truth be told, I guess I probably did port all the stuff from Unity and there's nothing left to port. So let's try something else. Let's start a new session here. Copilot. And then we'll open our developer agent here. So what features are available? No, that was all my idea. To implement in a Copilot or in a No More Robots. I have a lot of documentation about that, so it'll come up with some things and we can send it on its way. The real reason I wanted to set this up, though, is because I'm going to port the physics from Mercury's engine to my game, probably to replace a good chunk of the physics I've written. And I want to use Copilot to do that. Yeah, just different features I had asked for and things. Yeah, I guess that's the end of that. The app is running. Okay, so we managed to get this running, and you can see here's our veterinarian app. Um, and it's using Postgres. So, I mean, so what did we just do? We took a project we knew nothing about. We got it installed, set us up a Copilot agent for this veterinarian, um, got the AI to add, get it up and running. Now we could add another feature here. So, like, let's do that real quick. Error, what's this? Well, of course, I guess they just mock the error up too. Um, so these are all the veterinarians. Okay, let's have it add a mock online pay page just for fun. Can you please add a mock? Let's just ask it for PayPal. It'll probably fail, but let's watch how far it gets. Can you please reference PayPal APIs and make a page where users can pay with PayPal? Let's just see how far it gets with this. Because if I had like the keys, like credentials, I could probably get this running in about 5-10 minutes. So look, it found the PayPal developer documents. It went out to him. Now it's reading all the PayPal development. And now it's looking at this orders API. What did I ask? What was my prompt exactly? I guess orders. I didn't say orders, did I? Said pay, but maybe that's what PayPal's order API is. So it delegated out to some sub agents, and that's one thing I haven't really touched on yet. Is like, so these are like the main agents, but you can actually delegate to sub agents because when you're using like this whole chat, like this is the like brain of the AI, right? Like it's looking for keywords in here, and its system. These AIs, they're built on like conditional gateways that are weighted gateways basically. And so you get a group of gateways together and you measure their weight, and that's factored into how decisions are made. And so when you have so much conversation going on, uh those weighted gateways, there's more of them, or it's picking the wrong values for its gateway questions. And so what'll happen is eventually these will get condensed down after you've used them for a while, and they can actually get worse, which is kind of a bummer. Oh, I just thought of something else I wanted to do though. I want to show you this thing. I So can you do a quick mock-up of the page we're going to create for orders? Um, and I actually have a mock-up skill I use at work, and we'll see what it comes up with here. I'm going to have to be a little more careful. I mean a mock-up in the terminal. Just do it with text. Hopefully I didn't just cancel my whole project there. See, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't love that color, but it would probably be a better color in your version. It's really hard to see. I wish I had. You made it red. Can you make it white? It might get a little confused, but this is a nice mock-up. Like if you're trying to build a screen, like, and you just want a quick show, like a QA person, or like, maybe it doesn't. I did part of it in white, right? I should ask for white text, I guess. But you could, so you could like tweak this until you get exactly right, and then you could be like, okay, make me a mock-up skill, right? Well, let's just do it. I want white text 2, and then I'll save it as a mock-up. It doesn't have control over the text, whatever. Yes, you do, dumbass. We'll see what it does with that. Yeah, whatever. Um, but you could then, and again, it wouldn't be read like this on the Windows 11 terminal, but you could use this and like have mockups that you can screenshot or paste into. Like if I have a Jira, uh, I can, and I have an MCP server to hook up to Jira, then I could just ask it to add these mockups as code blocks so that they look the way they did here, except in black. Can you look at pull requests on the we're just gonna do a couple things here on the pet Clint. Okay, it's good. This was one of the background agents. Apparently, okay. So it's trying to make a visits table. And it's probably trying to do that because we asked it for a payment. And it's like, well, I need visits for a payment. So this is goes back to like how much detail you give the AI. Like if you plan all this stuff out in advance, then it'll like know what it's doing. Right here, it's trying to make up its own, which I'm fine with because this is just an example. But I'd probably want to have more control over that if I was actually building out a payment API. But let's go back to what you can you look at the pull requests on the pet pull requests or issues on the now it's trying to make Java objects for our new API. Can you look at the pull requests or issues on the pet clinic and update them? And tell me the open ones. We'll just ask it to tell us. Yes. So it's kind of hard to see, but it's doing the M. So it's got an MPC. It built its own MCP connection to GitHub, and now it's pulling down. It's trying to figure out. It's trying to read. What I'm trying to get to read is these issues, and then there's these pull requests here, right? So now I don't want to bug these guys with a bunch of bullshit AI code, um, for their repos. But can you go ahead and fix one and pick an easy one to fix and create a PR? I'll just close it so that they don't have to deal with it. They'll be like, what the hell is this character doing? So so like now I'm having okay. So like this AI is doing two things because it's got sub agents. So it's like prompting me because it's trying to create my payments page, but then now I've also got it trying to grab these issues and pull requests and decide on fixing one, and it's going to try to do both at once, which is probably going to conflict, which is pretty hilarious. But I'll update you when it's done. Okay, you do that. Removing dead veterinary objects from the veterinary controller. Is that an issue? Like, if we look. It's probably this one right here, right? Well, I don't know for sure, but, it's probably picking one of those. Invalid page parameter? I don't know. We'll figure it out. What is it you doing here, bud? Okay, so like now I got it to list all my features, but I'll probably just stop here because what I really wanted to do was that other thing, and I set this up. So this is now, if we quick go back to the skills and agents and such. So we've now got our two agents here. We've got our pet clinic Java agent. We've got our Git our Godot agent here. We'll just look at it one more time just to cement it. And it's got all this stuff about my game. When to use what, and you can always edit this with more customizations as you find it doesn't do things right or it does do things right and such. All right, let's see what this one's doing. So now it's going to try to, it looks like it's trying to run tests. I'm not sure if that was for the bug it was trying to fix or the PayPal. Okay, it's trying to use the PayPal sandbox. See, this is what's so cool. Like this thing read the PayPal API. It's trying to use the PayPal sandbox. Like it probably won't get there. Like I'll probably go to the page and it won't work the first time, right? Like I'm probably gonna have to prompt it a couple more times. But it's awesome. Like all this I used to have to do by hand. And like the thing is we're not coders. Like people like to say we're programmers or whatever. We're not programmers. We're engineers, you know. We're designing software. That is the job. It's not coding. So like as far as like not writing code, like you have to be sure it's good code for sure. But you know, it's almost irresponsible not to code with AI at this point. Because like if you think about it, the hackers are all using AI, right? And they're trying to get into your system. And like you're not going to use AI to do you know uh code reviews. In fact, let's do that right now. Uh, and maybe we won't because I've got so much else going on right now. But what I was thinking is like there are all these pull requests, you know, and it would be very easy to have AI just grab the link from one. I do this all the time at work. In fact, I'm just going to use my flippin' gaming API to run a pull request. Do a PR review on this. It's just, I mean, I have it open, so you know, I excuse me, I should have switched to that agent really, but oh well, it'll be all right. It's the wrong agent for the wrong task, but who cares? So yeah, so I asked for this pull request is improved documentation. So all this guy did was change the documentation. Wow, that was a stupid one to pull. I just grabbed the first one. Um, but it's even got suggestions on the documentations like, hey, you know, there's no access URL mentioned. The user should be told to open this. All right, let's actually try this on like a real PR. This one's a feature. And it's actually a failed one. Now it looks like it got reviewed by Copilot already. So you can see all these errors and different things that were mentioned by Copilot. And if you have, like, I can't do this probably, but like at work, I have Copilot, so I could be like, hey, Copilot, go ahead and fix this. I could do that at work, but I can't here. You know. But what I can do is just trying to find like a nice. I was hoping to find a good one that actually was like passing. Add support for editing visit descriptions. This one looks good. It failed something. I don't know what that means. Two workflows. But let's go ahead and pull this up and quick do a code review on this. So I'll go the right agent now. Agent, and we'll do our pet clinic. Please run a code review on this. Paste it in here. See what it comes up with. Then we can go back to this. Okay, it looks like it. I I don't know what I was doing. Apparently, I had to do some work with Git to get certain features or something. It looked like it was popping a stash or something. I don't know if because we checked out a different version or something. I could be interfering with it with this thing. Secrets. Yeah, it's telling me to get my sandbox keys from PayPal now, so I would have to add those. And it looks like it's trying to add it to the application properties, which is a Spring convention. Um, and then it was trying to write a PR. I don't know if you saw that little pop up there, but it was a sign in. It was going to write a PR and go ahead, finish the PR. I'm going to delete it though. Don't worry, I won't bug them with it. Try again. This time I'll actually authenticate it if it'll let me. Yes, 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 yes. And now this one's doing its code review. It's trying to grab GitHub tokens and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it'll probably do all this automatically for me. Yeah. Configurations for using the GitHub API. Do I want to? Copilot is trying to access. Yes. So now it's trying to access that API. Oh, it's trying to fork it. Man, I don't want you to fork it. Just skip that. So it couldn't figure out how to create, or maybe they won't let us create an API that way, or I need tokens. So now it was trying to fork it so that it could push its own, and I'm just gonna stop it there. Don't now. Never mind about the API or about the PR, but you get the idea. You could put a pull request in, and now this one is doing the code review, and this is probably where we'll end it. Um, I am curious about this. So let's see if please is the app ready with the new page mocked up? Please restart the app if so. Don't worry about the PR. Since it was doing the PR, I think it's probably all set up, but we'll see. Why isn't it taking? So this gave me a nice must fix. They missed some languages. This is verified in a test. So this is all good stuff. And I could ask it to fix all these problems and then submit a PR. Or I could just ask it to write notes on GitHub so that it would, so that the owner would know to do that. Why isn't this working? Why can I not hit enter? Is the app ready? Run it, please. What is going on here? Shoot. I lost my session. Luckily, when you kill it, it gives you the session right there. Or it should. Oh, I forgot. Okay. Please run the app. I'll just ask it to run it. Yes, 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 yes. Now it's going to run. We'll see if it's there or not. just mock it. It's saying it failed to run because the PayPal service is missing stuff, and I just told it to mock it. So hopefully it'll do that. Then run the app. And this will be the last thing we do. Another long stream. And we'll just see what happens. Is it running? So it's offline right now. Oh, it came back. Just started up. I don't see our order page. See what it says. Did you finish the order page? I would say we can go into this repo and find out, but I don't know this repo very well. So, okay, so it looks like it made a get. The app is live on, yes, I know it's live here. But are you saying I have to, I didn't prompt it for a menu. So maybe I have to. Do we have any visits? Please mock one and put a menu option for the visit page. And a little bit further, I guess. So yeah, it had made a visit page, but it hadn't made any visit records probably. We'll just try one here. Maybe it did. Maybe I'm lying. Yes, that's fine. We can do that. Maybe it just made the API. But I didn't ask it for a page, maybe. We'll try this. Okay. There it is. Payments page. I just didn't make and apparently it made me a user already. Or sorry, a payment already. So you can see this payment here was for $50 and like all that stuff. And then I just asked it for a message at the top, so I think it's trying to do that now. I think what it's actually doing is, since you need to have an ID for the visit page, like visit 1, visit 2, right? Like here's visit 2. I don't know how many it made. It made a few, it looks like. It was pretty smart to make those. And you could imagine if you had a well organized feature, it would do a lot better too. But since each visit has to be marked, it didn't make a visit page up here, because which visit would it take you to? And so now that I asked it for a visit, it's trying to make like a more generalized visit where it lists all the visits, I believe. But I don't really care about that, so I'm just going to stop here. So yeah, so today we set up 2 agents. one for two Copilot agents, one for Java Spring Engineering. We were able to pull down this Spring application that switch it to use Postgres and get it installed and up and running. Then we added a whole new page section for visits, and it added a whole new database table and some different things, in addition to setting up the initial database and everything for this application. We got this whole new feature added. And then on the game side, we didn't get that far, but we managed to get the whole. We managed to create a skill for physics and an agent for Godot, and we looked at my Copilot instructions, which you can prompt for Copilot instructions for any repo, and it'll give you them. We looked at that, and we analyzed different features that could have been added from that Unity project. Of course, that Unity project only had features that I had already implemented, so that wasn't really an option. That was the plan. But yeah, I think it was pretty successful overall. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Thanks for tuning in. Overbound, ouch.